How to fix black screen problems on Windows 10, Windows Central. On Windows 10, one of the most annoying problems you can stumble upon is a black screen. Because you won't see an error code or message printed on the screen to get a hint on where to start troubleshooting. A black screen could happen for many reasons. It might be related to an issue with a recent graphics driver update. Or it could occur during the installation of a feature update that includes a compatibility problem. It could also happen as a result of a buggy system update. Or it could be a hardware-related issue with the display, connection, or video adapter. Whatever the reason it might be. There are several ways to determine the cause and solve this problem on Windows 10. Whether you have access to the desktop or not. In this Windows 10 guide, we'll walk you through the instructions to troubleshoot and fix black screen problems. When you stumble upon a black screen, many things could be the reason, including problems with hardware, software, or a combination of both. In the following instructions, you'll find troubleshooting steps to resolve this issue on Windows 10. If the black screen appears before you can sign into the account, then it's likely a connection problem between the display and computer. In this situation, recheck the physical connection and make sure both ends of the video signal cable are connected correctly. And it's using the correct output port. Disconnect the video signal cable from both. Reconnect it again, and move the mouse to see if the display wakes up. Also, make sure that the monitor is receiving power, and the power button is turned on. You may need to check your manufacturer support website for more specific details. If you have multiple video outputs, try to switch the connection to a different port and move the mouse around or press any key on the keyboard to wake up the display. Sometimes, a driver update could include changes, which can send the video signal to the wrong port DisplayPort. HDMI, DVI, Thunderbolt, VGA. If the system has a discrete and integrated graphics card, you can switch the connection to the embedded video processor to confirm whether the problem is with the discrete card. Also, many times, after a system or BIOS basic input-output system update, the discrete video card might get disabled, and you'll need to re-enable in the motherboard settings. When using an external monitor, you can open the onboard monitor settings and increase the brightness as it may be the reason for the black screen. While in the settings menu, it's also a good idea to check if the monitor uses the correct input. If you don't know how to access your monitor settings, check your manufacturer support website for specific details. If you have a laptop, use the keyboard shortcut to increase the display brightness. Usually, you'll need to click the function Fn key and one of the function's keys, such as F8 or F10. You can also try to connect the monitor to a different computer or use a different video signal cable DisplayPort. HDMI, DVI, VGA, or Thunderbolt to determine if you're dealing with a broken display or video card, or damaged cable. Sometimes, you may see a black screen as a result of Windows 10 losing its connection with the display. You can use the Windows key plus Control plus Shift plus B keyboard shortcut to restart the video driver and refresh the link to the monitor. On tablets such as Surface Pro, you can wake up the screen pressing the volume up and volume down buttons simultaneously 3 times quickly. When you perform this action, you'll hear a beep and activity on the screen indicating that Windows 10 can respond to the command, and it's re-establishing a connection with the display. Alternatively, assuming that Windows 10 is responsive, you can use the Windows key plus P keyboard shortcut to bring up the project menu. Then hit the P key again, and hit the Enter key to switch between the different display modes to see if the black screen disappears. You'll need to repeat the steps 4 times to allow cycling through all the possible modes. If you don't see anything on the screen, press and hold the power button for about 10 seconds to shut down the device. Then press the power button again to restart. Peripherals connected to the computer may be the reason for the black screen or black screen with the spinning dots during startup for a long time. Usually, spinning dots during startup indicates that an update is installing, and you need to wait a few moments. But if it takes a long time, then it could be a compatibility problem with the hardware. If you experience something similar, disconnect all peripherals, including printers, cameras, removable drives, Bluetooth, docking station, and other USB devices from your computer. Restart the device one more time, and if everything works normally, then the problem is one of the peripherals. You can determine which device is causing the problem by reconnecting one at a time until you stumble upon the one causing the conflict. Once you know the peripheral causing the issue, disconnect it. Restart the computer. Search online to find a solution. Or contact your device manufacturer for additional assistance. If you see a black screen after signing into Windows 10 and can still use the mouse pointer, it could be a problem with the Windows Explorer process. Quick tip, you can also use the Ctrl+Alt+Del keyboard shortcut and then click the Task Manager button. If this is the case of a software-related issue, and you don't have access to the desktop, you will need to use Advanced Startup to boot Windows 10 in safe mode to troubleshoot and fix the black screen problem. As soon as the Windows logo appears on the screen, press the power button to interrupt the boot sequence. After the third interruption, Windows 10 will open into the Automatic Repi environment, where you can click the Advanced Options button, and then you can continue with the steps below to boot in safe mode. Alternatively, you can use a USB bootable media to access the advanced startup settings using these steps. Quick tip, if your device isn't starting from the USB flash drive, you'll need to change the motherboard's BIOS settings to make sure it can boot from USB. You can usually access the BIOS by powering up the device and pressing one of the functions, delete, or ESC keys. However, you may need to check your manufacturer's support website for more specific details. While in the startup settings, press the 5 or F5 key to select the safe mode with networking option. After the device starts in safe mode, you can use several troubleshooting steps to help you fix the black screen problem. For example, reinstalling the graphics driver, removing buggy updates, changing system settings, and more. See instructions below. Usually, when the device starts normally, Windows 10 loads a bunch of services, drivers, and applications, which will remain running in the background. If one of them isn't working correctly, it's possible that it will produce a black screen. A clean boot instructs Windows 10 to start only with a minimal set of services, drivers, and apps, which can help you to figure out if something running in the background is the cause of the screen going completely black. On Windows 10, a clean boot is similar to safe mode, but it allows you to re-enable one service or software at a time to pinpoint the problem more accurately. Although this process won't fix the issue, it'll give you an idea of where to start looking to resolve the black screen. If, after restarting your computer, you no longer see a black screen, you will know that there's a problem with one of the background processes. In this case, use these steps to re-enable the items, one by one, and restart your device to see which one is causing the black screen. Once you complete the steps, repeat the steps for every item until you can determine the cause of the problem. After you complete the steps, repeat the instructions for every item until figuring out the app causing the black screen. If you want to revert the changes, you can use the same instructions outlined above to perform a clean boot. But on step No. 5, make sure to click the Enable All button. And on step No. 10, click the Enable button for each application that was previously enabled. Typically, a device may experience a black screen due to a compatibility issue with a graphics driver, which might you have installed manually or through Windows Update. Other times, the video driver update may not be the problem, but the one already installed on the device may be corrupted. And as a result, you could end up with a black screen. Quick tip, alternatively, you can also select the Delete the Driver software for this device option to remove the driver from the computer. Sometimes, this is recommended, but if Windows 10 can't find the driver online, you'll need to manually download it from your manufacturer support website. Once the device restarts, Windows 10 will try to reinstall the graphics driver, automatically resolving the black screen problem. If you see a black screen after upgrading to a new version of Windows 10, you may need to download the latest compatible driver from your device or graphics manufacturer's support website to resolve the issue. Alternatively, if the problem happens after installing an update, it may be possible to roll back to the driver's previous version. After you complete the steps, Windows 10 will uninstall the driver, and the previous version will be restored. If the rollback driver button isn't available, Windows 10 doesn't have a previous driver. If an earlier version of the driver was working without splashing a black screen, you might be able to find and download an older version from your manufacturer's support website and use their instructions to install the controller. Sometimes a black screen will appear because the Fast Startup feature is enabled on Windows 10. Fast Startup is a feature available in some installations with specific hardware configuration, and it allows a device to boot faster. However, if it's causing problems, you may need to disable it. If Fast Startup was the problem, after restarting the device, you should no longer see a black screen. Once you complete the steps, restart the device to confirm that disabling the features addresses the black screen problem. Runance is a feature that allows you to specify commands that Windows 10 can run one time and then deletes. But it can also cause the screen to go black on a computer. If the runance process was causing the problem, you should be able to start using your device normally. Nowadays, it's not uncommon for quality updates to roll out with bugs and compatibility issues. If an update was recently installed and you're experiencing a black screen, removing it may resolve it. While in safe mode, you won't be able to access the update and security settings to remove a quality update. But you can still use Control Panel. Once you complete the steps, the update will uninstall, and Windows 10 won't try to install it again until the next update releases. Although security programs are designed to keep your computer and files safe, they can also cause problems like a black screen. If you're using a third-party antivirus or another security software type, you can temporarily remove it to determine whether the app is causing the problem. If you no longer see a black screen on Windows 10, you can reinstall it again. But if the problem reappears, remove it one more time. And check your software vendor's support website for an updated version or additional support. If you want to determine whether your account is causing problems while in safe mode, you can create a new local account. If it works, you should consider transferring to the new account. If the computer is no longer experiencing a black screen, then the problem is something related to your old user account. Instead of troubleshooting the old account, you should refer to this guide to transfer your files. Link your user profile with a Microsoft account, and delete the old account. Alternatively, you can also use the System Restore feature to undo system changes using one of the available restore points, which can potentially fix the black screen problem on Windows 10. You won't lose your files, but depending on the current configuration, you may lose some settings, apps, and updates. System Restore will only work if you have previously enabled and configured the feature. When the device has a black screen, you won't be able to use System Restore normally. As such, you'll need to manually trigger the recovery environment. After the third interruption, Windows 10 will open into the advanced startup environment. And then you can continue with the steps below to use System Restore. Quick tip: if your device isn't starting from the USB flash drive, you'll need to change the motherboard's BIOS settings to make sure it can boot from USB. Usually, you can access the BIOS by powering up the device and pressing one of the functions, delete, or ESC keys. However, you may need to check your manufacturer's support website for more specific details. Click the Scan for Affected Programs button to determine the apps that will be affected after the restore point was created. After you complete the steps, System Restore will restore the device to an earlier time, removing system changes since the date of the restore point, which may resolve the black screen issue on Windows 10. In the case that you're dealing with compatibility issues with a new version of Windows 10, you can roll back to an earlier release, as long as you do this within the first 10 days after the upgrade. When you have a black screen in front of you, it won't be possible to use the recovery options using the Settings app, nor you'll be able to use safe mode from within Windows 10. This means that you'll need to trigger the recovery environment manually. After the third interruption, Windows 10 will open into the advanced startup environment, and then you can continue with the steps below to roll back. Once you complete the steps, continue with the instructions to revert to an earlier version of Windows 10. While in the advanced startup settings page, you can roll back to the previous version using these steps. If rolling back to a previous version resolves the problem, then you should avoid upgrading again until you know there's a permanent solution for the problem. When the black screen appears during the installation of Windows 10, it's likely that the setup is still working in the background. If this is the case, it could take several hours for the installation to complete the process, but it will eventually complete successfully. If, after around 6 hours, the installation continues to be stuck with a black screen, you should try to power off the computer. You can force a shutdown by pressing and holding the power button between 5 to 10 seconds or until the device shuts down. Then unplug the power cable. After powering off the computer, disconnect non-essential peripherals, including removable storage, printer, game controller, network cable, docking station, and secondary displays. If you can. Also turn off your wireless and Bluetooth adapters. Only leave connected the essentials, such as a mouse, keyboard, and primary monitor. Wait at least 60 seconds. Reconnect the battery and power cable. But do not reconnect any peripherals and power on the device. If it was a non-critical error, the installation should resume and complete successfully. Once you're on the Windows 10 desktop, remember to reconnect the remaining peripherals. If it was a critical error, and the system rolls back to the previous version, don't reconnect your peripherals, and manually install the Windows 10 update one more time. If you were trying to upgrade to Windows 10, you could try to upgrade one more time. But this time you can try using a bootable USB flash drive to install Windows 10. For more helpful articles, coverage, and answers to common questions about Windows 10, visit the following resources. The Financial Times reports that as part of negotiations, Microsoft is now inquiring whether it can buy all of TikTok, instead of just the business in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. This new plan would include India and Europe, and excluding China. Need even more Surface Duo in your life? Check out the latest Android Central podcast, in which Daniel Rubino and Daniel Batter, double the Dans, discuss Surface Duo, Microsoft's Samsung love affair, and Project xCloud. There are many Windows 10 tablets on the market, but it's hard to sort through the rubbish. Here's our picks for the best Windows 10 tablets you can buy right now. At the top of our list is the Surface Pro X, which we think is the best due to its ARM processor, large display, and thin form factor while still packing good battery life and excellent performance. You just purchased a new PC and set it up, and now you're looking for some great apps. Look no further. These are the best apps for your new Windows 10 PC. No spam. We promise. You can unsubscribe at any time and we'll never share your details without your permission. Text source: windowcentral.com.